Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Love, Light, and Life Affirmed, your daily affirmations for self love and growth. Hi, Collective. Welcome back into the channel, you guys. So, this is going to be your inner wisdom compass oracle message. So, I want to kind of do the message a little bit different. I'm actually just going to see if I could just pull out one card at a time. I want to kind of delve a little bit deeper into each of the messages that comes out and then kind of see what our collective message is at the end. Okay, perfect. So I hope you guys have had an amazing day, morning, afternoon, or evening, or whenever you are watching this. To all of my current followers and subscribers, thank you guys so much for all of your support of the channel. Thank you guys for the Cash App donations. It's been greatly appreciated. Thank you for letting me know that the messages are resonating for you. To all of the incoming followers and subscribers, welcome in, you guys. I'm happy to have you here, and hopefully you find the messages useful for you as well. So I want to kind of just start off and see what the energy is in the collective right now. Let's see what you guys might be dealing with, battling with, that we just need to kind of talk about, okay? All right, so let's see what we got. The first one that flipped is refresh, recharge. Take time out from the busy and stressful world around you. Take a moment to feel the sun on your face, wiggle your toes in the grass, and get back grounded. So, for my collective out there that is overworking, probably like myself a little bit, that don't take enough time to kind of regroup, recharge your energy. This is suggesting that you need to take some time off for yourself, even if that's just going outside in nature, finding some grass, some trees, just kind of walking with no shoes on, just getting back grounded, you guys. Life pulls us away, and it's rare that we spend as much time nurturing ourselves and putting time into ourselves as we put into our jobs, our other obligations. Okay. So the next one that flipped here is laughter, and it came out in the reverse. Laughter is a medicine for the soul. So laugh, even if it's through tears. So again, I have a group of my collective out here right now. You guys are not having a good time in life right now. I don't know what it is specifically that you're struggling with, that you're dealing with, you know, but it has you in this down mood, and you're finding it difficult to kind of come out of that. Um, and again, maybe with this advice of needing to regroup and recharge, maybe that's what you need to kind of get you back into a more optimistic mood or attitude here. And then the next one that flipped is move on in the reverse. In order to gain closure and healing for ourselves, we must move on from things, people, and situations we cannot change. So, what this is telling me is that you guys are having a hard time moving on from a situation, person, place, or thing. This can be a breakup, from a short term, long term relationship, whether that, it's just two people living together, whether that is a, long term marriage. Flip it where it needs to go. You guys know your story. And again, understand that, not every message will resonate for everyone. So just take what does and leave what doesn't, right? But for whoever I'm talking to, you're having a hard time moving on from a situation, and it's put you in this mood of feeling really down and sad. You're not able to really laugh your way through this right now because you haven't moved on And because you haven't moved on, you haven't begun your healing process, you haven't found the closure that you need in order to start to really look at the situation and heal from this. And then the next one that I've received is honesty. It has always been said that honesty is the best policy. Always remember to be honest with yourself and others. And as you can see, it came out in the reverse. So this is telling me that, again, you guys are having a hard time being honest about this situation. You know, what I'm feeling is this could be pertaining to a current job that you're in or a current relationship. So take it how it resonates. But I feel like it can be for both. But just looking at this, I have someone who has been emotionally giving, physically giving. You've been giving a lot of yourself, your time, your mental stability is in question right now because you have given so much of you to a person, place, or thing where you have not had time to recharge. You are feeling down about it. You're not happy these days. There's really not much that brings a smile to your face. But you haven't moved on. You haven't moved on, even though you know that it's probably time to. You know that you're at the end of the road with a particular situation, but you're not being honest with yourself. You're having a hard time being honest about it. And I think you may be having a hard time being honest about it because it makes you feel like you failed in some way. But being honest about moving on from a situation, person, place, or thing is not about you being a failure. It's about the fact that maybe your time is just up in this particular situation. Maybe you have seen what you needed to see, and maybe now it's time for you to take what you've learned from the situation to help propel you forward into something greater. But change is so hard for us, collective. It's so hard to let go, especially when we are emotionally attached to something. And it doesn't matter what it is. But this is telling you that you need time to regroup. And maybe in order to allow yourself to move on, to start to heal from this so you can find a reason to laugh and smile again, you have to be honest because right now you're not being honest with yourself. You're not being honest with yourself. And you don't see the situation as a desperate situation. You don't see this as urgent. When honestly, I think it is. The way that I see this desperation message in the reverse. Usually, when people do things out of desperation, they move quickly. They do things without thinking, and it usually puts them in a much worse situation. But in this context, the way that I am feeling this energy is you don't really have a sense of urgency to move away from this, even though you know that it's been bringing you down. It's been keeping you in this melancholy, sad, unhappy state. But you have such a hard time moving on and finding the closure that's going to allow you to heal because you have not been honest with yourself about it. And this is something I feel like you keep to yourself. I feel like this is not something that you share with other people. So nobody really knows how you're truly feeling on the inside about this. Then we have baggage that came out. Resist being weighed down by the guilt and shame of the past. The past is exactly what it is, the past. So unpack and begin your healing. Start life anew and stop dragging the old into the new. You have a hard time letting go. You're having a hard time unpacking this baggage. And this is why you're having a hard time moving on. Because if you look at these two messages, if they were on the flip, This would tell me that you were letting the baggage go. You were unpacking the emotional attachment, the emotional pain and discomfort and unhappiness that you felt in this situation so that you can move on and heal and find closure. But you're having a hard time doing both. But you know that it's time. You know that it's time. You know that it's time to be honest with yourself. And you have to start with self, collective. You have to start with being honest with yourself about it. I feel like externally, this is not news to anybody. But maybe you feel like if you don't say it out loud, if you don't admit it, then maybe one day it'll just change and be better. Maybe somehow the tides will turn and you will actually start to feel the exact opposite way than you feel right now. But truth be told, you know that's not going to happen. And you are prolonging this unhappiness that you don't deserve to feel. This unhappiness can come from the fact that maybe you don't feel appreciated in the situation that you find yourself in, but maybe you feel obligated to stay in. That happens a lot, you guys, and especially relationships when you have two people who have had kids together. I have so many people that I know, especially male, my men out there, my divine masculines. I have so many of you who feel obligated to stay in a family dynamic because you don't want to walk away from your children. Again, because you're worried about being judged, you're worried about being looked at as a failure. But is it really healthy to stay in a situation where your children are seeing you unhappy all the time, where they're seeing the light leave your eyes because you are not excited when you wake up every day? It's just another day of misery for you that you live through because of your obligation, because you want to be seen as honorable. But is that the most honorable decision? I don't know. I don't think so. And that's my opinion, and I know everybody is going to have a different opinion of that. But honestly, everybody deserves happiness. And I feel like it would be better for your kids to see you make the decision to move forward. It doesn't mean that you don't have to be a part of their lives. Maybe there's going to be adjustments made and sacrifices because you won't see them 24/7, maybe like you can now. But at least the time that you do have with them, when they see you once you've moved on, they'll actually truly see you being yourself. They will see you happy. They will see you excited about life, refreshed, recharged, laughing, smiling. You will enjoy your time with them much more because you will have that weight off of your shoulder, that burden off of your shoulder of being in a situation of just being obligated, but being unsatisfied. No one should ever feel forced to stay in a situation where there is no equal give and take, where there is no nurturing, where there is no love between two. Everybody deserves the level of joy, especially if you are a caregiver, especially if you are the person who makes sure the family stays in line, things get taken care of around the house. You should be nurtured. But right now, you're not feeling like you can conquer this. You're not feeling accomplished. Today, you are a conqueror. You are able to overcome anything life throws at you. Let's do this. You are feeling just the opposite. You feel like you cannot overcome this situation. You feel like there is no option for you, but there is. It's just not an option that you thought you would ever have to make when you took vows, when you dedicated your life to this other person, man or woman. You love the idea of family. The idea of family, it feeds your soul. So the thought of having to walk away from this because there is no equal give and take, because there is no love between you anymore, it breaks your heart to a depth that I don't think people truly can see or will fully understand. And you have not expressed this. This is something that you keep within. But I can tell you that it still shows without. It still shows externally, no matter how much you try to hide it. Because how we feel on the inside is reflected in our actions on the outside. You only can fake this for so long. And again, why would you want to? What you're asking is not much. And if the person that you are currently with cannot give that to you, then that is no longer the person for you. Yes, every partner is different. Some people have partners and spouses who are very dramatic and cause issues, and you feel like it's just going to be World War III, trying to separate yourself from the situation. And that could be your situation. But at the same time, sometimes it's okay to lose a few battles to win the war. And right now, the war is you against you. It's the fact that you know that you are truly unhappy, that you have been for a long time. You have not taken the time to refresh and recharge. You have not smiled and truly laughed from a genuine place in years. You cannot move on because you feel stuck and obligated because you don't want to feel judged. But it's time to be honest. It's time to be honest with you. This is urgent. You need to let go of the emotional baggage that have weighed you down, the shame, the guilt of past decisions, of the fact that this isn't working. It takes two people to make a relationship work. So the fact that it's not working is not just on you. It means that there's one side of this that is no longer participating in the way that they should. Or maybe they never have, and maybe it's just been so long that you're tired and you really need that support now because maybe you're older and maybe life has pushed you down a little bit and you really need a supportive partner and you're realizing you don't have that. That is the truth of the situation. That means it's time for you to do something about it. It's time for you to figure out how to be yourself. It's time for you to figure out how to be yourself so that you can become this emperor. You need to get into your emperor energy, and this could be pertaining to man or woman because men and women both have a divine masculine and a divine feminine side, but it is about being in balance. If you've always had to be in your divine masculine side and you've never been able to be nurturing or loving, and you've always had to be logical, you're missing half of you. We need both to feel truly nurtured and loved and appreciated, collective. And for whoever I am talking to, it is time that you see that you deserve that. It is time for you to make a decision and find a way to be honest with yourself so that you can be honest with everyone else. This may be a situation of codependency that may be another reason why this is hard. But again, is fighting for your independency, is it worth it if it's going to make you truly happy? If it will allow you a level of freedom that maybe you haven't had in 25 years? I can see how that could be weighing down on you. And I feel like your suitcase, your emotional baggage is pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy. I'm here to be a message of encouragement for whoever you are, because I feel like every one of us deserves a level of happiness. We work so hard all of these years in our lives, Why would it be okay to go through all of these years and have all of this time spent in an unhappy state? It's just a question for you. I hope you figure it out. I hope you can find a solution that works for you. Everything takes time, but as long as you take the steps, you will eventually find your way. All right, you guys, this is what I have for you. Hopefully, it gave you some food for thought. This message did resonate. Please hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, and follow me. I would greatly appreciate the support. But until next time, collective, I'll see you guys on the flip. And P.S., you need to remember how amazing you are and that you do deserve happiness. That is a fact, not an opinion.